Check out my shorts, YouTube. Okay, let's do this. Right, so. How are you doing, everybody? It is Ross Cooney here, and welcome to the 1% Daily Podcast. We are on episode 37, I think, 38. I will edit this with a little thing that tells you exactly what episode we're on. But it has been a minute, and by minute I mean a long time since I did a podcast. Been busy, back on it now, doing a little bit of new things with the YouTube as well, so you guys are going to be able to see this and hear it, so lots of different platforms are going to have this to share. But yeah, what is the 1% Daily Podcast all about? It's about dedicating 1% of your day, just 14 minutes and 40 seconds, towards making yourself better, upskilling yourself, just adding to what you're about. And hopefully in this time frame that you're going to listen to me, whether it's walking the dogs, in the car, exercising, whatever it might be, you're going to get some value from it. I'm going to share with you my experiences, share with you what I've learnt, and just really tell it how it is for me. So hopefully it's some value, add some value to your life. Now, first of all, this weather, what is it about? I am a massive fan, although I'm slightly annoyed I've had to just close the window in this studio because someone thought it was okay to start banging outside. So I'm a bit redders, but the weather is awesome. I can't believe how lucky it is, and I'm solar powered. I'm the only Scottish guy who is solar powered, but I'm a big fan and I cannot get enough of it. So, if you're new to the podcast and new to YouTube, welcome. Like I said, Ross Cooney, Roscoe, vegan, father, son, husband, just trying to make my way in life and have the greatest positive impact on the most amount of people, okay? Today's podcast, okay, today's video is all about relationships, okay? And it's funny this has come round. I've done a couple of talks on this before. My wife and I have got into some great conversations recently, and I've had some good chats with some people as well about their relationships, and it's kind of fitting to what's going on. So everything I'm talking about now is something that I'm either doing now, practicing now, looking to do more of, or try and to put more back in play of my life, okay? That didn't really make sense, but I'm trying to be better and work better in my relationship. So the great thing about relationships is we should always be working on our relationships. Always working on our relationships. Now, people think that if they've got to speak to guidance counselors or read books or seek advice on the relationships, the relationship is broken and it's destined to go wrong. It's not true at all. If anything, it's good the fact that you've acknowledged that you need to work on your relationship. It only makes your relationship better. Relationships are constantly evolving and changing, since having kids, since changing jobs. These are all added stresses that you put into your lives. And if you don't seek out advice from friends, mentors, coaches on how to improve in these situations, we weren't naturally born with this information. We have to seek it out. So, from the books that I've read, from the people that I've spoke to, coaches, guidance counselors, the whole lot, getting all the good stuff that I put in play into my life, hopefully you can take it and put it into your life. So don't see this as a bad thing that you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna listen to Ross and all of a sudden my relationship's going really bad. Actually, you're taking the steps in the right direction to have good conversations. And what I wanna do is I actually wanna bring Sarah on, my wife, and we'll do a podcast dedicated solely to how our relationship works and share that with you, because I think that'd be really useful to you. But all I'm gonna do today, kind of 7 things to think about, okay? 7 things to put in play into your life that will just make that relationship better. Not easier, just make you better in your relationship, okay? So the first thing is really important, and I've started recently writing this down again in my journal when I set out my goals, and I started putting down there I wanted to have a dedicated date night every week. And this brings back to the idea that you need to dedicate some time for you and your partner. So I'm talking specifically now about your significant other, your partner, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it might be. You've got to dedicate some time. So there's 2 types of dedications here. Dedicate some time for them on their own. So create time for them on their own. So whether it's me making time for Sarah to go to the gym or to work out or to stay late at work, I will do that. But then also dedicate time together. So whether it's going to the cinema, whether it's creating a night that you're going to go out for dinner, the kids go somewhere else. These are things that we're actively putting in play in our lives and we're trying to do on a regular basis. Now the problem is our kids are vegan, so they're problem kids, as in they don't sleep as much as all the kids who have got sugar in their bodies. So when they go to the in-laws, they complain about them getting up early. But that's just the way it is. You're just going to have to deal with that one. But no, I'm only joking. Our in-laws do a lot for us, and so does Sarah's sister. But we will make time, dedicate time every week, once a month, as regularly as we can, to spend time on our own. Recently, we managed to get 24 hours, I think, maybe 22 hours without the kids. Went to Leeds, stayed in the hotel, we're meeting some friends of Sarah's, had a brilliant time. But you need to set aside every week some dedicated time for you and your partner. So remember, 2 types of dedicated time. Time for your partner on her own or on his own. Just time for themselves, okay? So then you can then have time back for yourself as well, but allow them to have time on their own, but also dedicate solely some time for you and your partner. So it's Friday night, it is date night. Kids are to bed, we're watching a film, we're ordering pizza and we're going out for dinner, going to the cinema, whatever it is. You then need to plan this in advance so you can't then catch your partner out, okay? If it's a surprise, that's cool, and we'll get to that in a second, but you can't just spring it on your partner and be like, right, tonight we're doing this, who's looking after the kids? Plan it in advance. Friday night is date night, okay? So kids are going here, they've got a babysitter in, whatever it might be, dedicate some time, share it with your partner, and then in the build up to that date night, actually be texting and sending messages to each other saying what we're doing, have you organised this, what you're wearing, you know, create a bit of excitement around it, almost back to that kind of first date scenario about how you first got together. So that's your first bit of advice. Dedicate some time every week if you can, and if you can dedicate some time every day just to drop a text, let them know you're thinking about them, do that as well. The next thing, and this is what I was talking about, the surprise element. Surprise is good. Okay, and it keeps the relationship fresh. Not the kind of surprise in like no, we're going to go and do this and hopefully you like the surprise. But I put it down as surprise kindness. So whenever I'm in town or I'm passing Sarah's office, I don't necessarily have to see her. Or if I've seen her for lunch and then we've gone our separate ways and I'm coming back past, I'll just drop in a coffee. You know, drop in nothing glamour and that, like flowers all the time. If you can do that, that's cool, but just random little acts of kindness. You know, I will send a picture to Sarah, I will go through my iPhone and other phones available, and I will find pictures from this day, this date, but from last year or the year before. And because we've got kids, some of those pictures are really cool. You know, I'll just send a little snippet of where we were 2 years ago today, 1 year ago, 3 years ago, 4 years, whatever it might be. Just a little thing, just a random picture. Then the really nice thing is Sarah, my wife, has started doing this back to me now, which is even better because it catches me out and I think it's brilliant. But yeah, little random acts of kindness for you and your partner. So like I say, whether it's just a coffee, dropping a coffee off at the at work where they work, or the nice message or a little text, just something that lets them know that you're thinking about it. But do it, but don't expect anything back. Just do it as a random act of kindness and don't expect anything back, apart from maybe them texting you to say, thanks, that was lovely. Because if it makes them happy or they find it in their phone, it's brilliant, right? But don't text them or do the act and be like, right, why did you not say thanks? Just do it, get it out to them, and they will enjoy it, and then it will come back to you in kind, okay? So that's your second bit of advice for today. Third bit, really important. This is one I struggle with. Be patient, okay? My wife is uber patient with me because I'm a nightmare. But to the same extent, my wife's a nightmare as well. And that's just the way life is, okay? We were joking the other night about how I'm punching, and by that I mean punching up a weight category for my wife because she's stunning. She is. But I then told her she's batshit crazy and that's why I'm punching, and we balance it out. But no, be patient with your partner. Be patient with their needs, with what's going on in their life. You know, because if you're not patient, you can easily lose your shit with them pretty quick. So you've got to be patient. And by you being patient, they will then reciprocate that and be patient back with you, okay? So be patient and mindful with your partner. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is actually quite relevant today in the last couple of days. Whenever you're having a downtime or life just seems to be getting in the way and you're getting a bit stressed in general around your relationship or not, just think back to how you got back together. So just for some reason recently I've been retelling the story of how Sarah and I got back together, and I will do this in another podcast because I'm not going to bore you with the issues, with the details of it. But remember how you got back together. So I was in the loft the other night looking for some stuff, found a load of old basketball kit, found a load of old sort of memorabilia from when I was playing basketball at university, and it just got me thinking about how Sarah and I first met. We met through basketball, we met through sport. So it's good to remember how you met, and I've been retelling the story to friends, people have just been asking, and it's good to rekindle that thought. Now, basketball plays a massive part in our life, Sarah and I's life, and it's really important to us because that's kind of how we got together. So sharing any moments, memories about basketball is really cool because it then sort of reminds us of how we got together. So in your relationship, just think back to how you got together. Reminisce, find pictures, have conversations about your first date, how awkward it was. Mine was horrendous. I can't believe I got a second date with Sarah. And she'll tell you this, and that's going to be the next podcast that I'll do, be with her on relationships. And we'll talk about how bad that was. But yeah, reminisce of all those good times and then try and drip feed them back into where you are now in your relationship, okay? So for us, it's basketball, it's engaging in a sport. We've now got our kids that are going through the same thing with sport and basketball. So it's a nice thing for us to do. We found some old pictures and, like I say, basketball kit. And we just started thinking about our previous lives together and how we first met. So yeah, remember how you got together. And that kind of leads nicely into always be, first and foremost, your friends. You know, whether you were friends before you got together and then became physical, or it was vice versa, be friends with your partner. Be the ear to listen to them. I had lunch with my wife the other day and I was ranting about what was just going on work-wise, brothers and sisters, family-wise, just whatever it was. I was able just to share and express and exercise that emotional part of what was going on. And my wife did such a good job of just sitting there and listening to me. So that's what good friends do. They will listen, then once they've listened, they will offer advice. Sarah did a fantastic job of that the other day. So be that ear and that person for your partner to talk to as well. So yeah, first and foremost, be friends and do the friend thing. The next two ones kind of combine nicely into each other. Fun. Always find the fun element to what you're about, okay? So whether it's playing in the garden with the kids, in the paddling pool we were doing the other day. I took the family to the river. Sarah and I were in the river and we were playing in the river. The kids were playing in the river. Sarah didn't want to do it, but she got involved and it was great fun. Playing in the garden, playing basketball. Keep the relationship fun, keep it playful, okay? Have that playful and fun side to the relationship as well. And like I said, that slides nicely into the last bit of advice, and that is the physical side. Be physical, and by that can mean the sex side, that can be the exercise side, that can be the physical contact side between you and your partner, but you've got to keep that in there. So Sarah and I, we love to work out together. So if we're working out in the garden or we're playing sport together, we like to have that physical kind of contact or that physical relationship that's going on, and that then does translate into better sex, better love life, better relationships, okay? So be mindful of being physical, and by that it can be as much physical as you want it to be, but I'm talking about for Sarah and I, we exercise together, we spend time closely together, joking around, being playful, and then that translates into better areas in the rest of our lives, okay? And better parts for our relationship. So that is just a snapshot, 7 or 8 bits of advice, I think, on what you can do to improve your relationship. Now, what I will do is in this, the show notes to go with this YouTube and on the podcast, I will link those 7 bits, 8 bits, but then you can then find one of those things that works well for you, because what my challenge is for you over this next week or just whatever it might be is listen to these bits of advice that I've given you, listen to these 7 or 8 pieces of advice and say, right, which one am I going to dedicate some time to, which one am I going to allocate some resources, some energy to actually go out of my way to improve that part of your relationship. Because just by focusing on that one thing, you will significantly improve your relationship, and that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to find one thing to work on. So for me and my wife, it's the things that we're kind of focusing on at the minute is how we got together, the reminiscing about basketball and that relationship side of it, but also dedicating time to each other. In fact, and a third one, being very patient with each other. And be mindful of that, when you get into an argument, be patient. Don't react take time, control what you're saying, and then respond appropriately to the mood or to the moment right there and then. So go back through this, find out one piece of advice that I've given you, and share it. Okay, the next relationship talk that I'm going to do on here will be Sarah, and she can tell you how bad I am. Now, I've been Roscoe. This has been your 1% Daily podcast. 14 minutes and 40 seconds is up, so I am out of here. Have a great day, and remember, life is one big game. Make sure you play it your way and maximize your potential. Bye-bye. Right, YouTube. So this is a little bit of a continuation on it. It's going to be slightly longer than the 1% Daily show, but some content now that's not on the podcast, but it's only on the YouTube. The main things that I focus on with my partner, with Sarah, is I said about the patient side, I said about the dedicating time and remembering how we got together. Those three are a big focus for me. So I am making more of an effort now to dedicate time. So when I'm dedicating time, I am making time every day to text Sarah, my wife, to let her know that I'm thinking about her. So I'm going to share with you now some of the specifics about what I'm doing. I'm doing specific stuff every day to share with her how I'm feeling, if I'm apologizing for something that I did, but I'm sending her a little message to let her know that I'm thinking of her. And also it puts her mind at ease as well with regards to if we've not been talking because she's busy and I'm busy, just a little text to say, look, I know you're super busy and I don't expect you to be responding to this text, but I wanted you to let you know that I'm thinking about you, or I'm going to take care of the kids this evening so you can go to the gym. Okay, so dedicate some time, dedicate moments in your day for your partner. I'm doing that for Sarah now, and you guys can call me out on this. This is great. This is going to be a little after show snippet for YouTube. I like this. Okay, the second thing that I was saying about is being patient. So this is a two-way thing. My wife has got to be super patient with me because I'm a pain in the ass. I get excitable, I get irritable, I get annoying, and by the same token, my wife does as well. But I've got to be super patient because my wife is very busy. She does so much for the kids, so much for her business. She's a partner in a law firm. So I've got to be patient with her as well. So I'm mindfully now taking time to, instead of being reactive to what she's saying or doing, taking some time and being responsive. So for example, last night got into a bit of a Barney, nothing major, kind of went to bed not talking, and I could have easily just gone, I'm going to bed, going to sleep. But I made a point of being, right, if I'm going to talk about this, I've got to practice what I'm preaching. So I made a point of saying to my wife and apologizing for my actions for what I said earlier, because I'd been reactive to what had gone on, not responsive. So I took one for that. I accepted that I'd got it wrong, but I need to be more patient with her moving forward and being more patient with the relationship and what we've got going on because we're terribly busy. So I'm actively doing that. So if you can take some of that and apply it to your life, put that in yours. Now, what was the third thing? Okay, remembering how we got back together. So basketball is quite prevalent in the minute. We've been talking about it a lot. So I'm actually going to dedicate some time to finding some basketball stuff for Sarah. So whether it's we go and attend a game together, we go to practice with Bear together, or we just reminisce a bit more about our basketball previously, about how we got together, because it's a really nice conversation, and for Sarah and I it's a really nice story, and I look forward to sharing that with you in greater detail when I bring Sarah on the podcast and on the video. But it's about, for me, I'm going to go out of my way now just to remind her about how we did get together, remind her of all the amazing things she did in her basketball career, and then kind of how I want that to almost map out our future relationship together and with our kids now, because it's this basketball and sports going to be in there quite heavily. So they're the three things I'm working on. I hope that you've found that useful. I'm going to have the podcast at 14 minutes and 40 seconds and then an extra couple of bonus minutes with you guys on YouTube. Remember guys, if you're liking this, share it on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media. Share, subscribe to YouTube, listen to the podcast. So if you can't get it on there for YouTube, listen on the podcast, and then find it and let's get it out to all the good people of the world, because I want to share as much as I can of what I'm about with you guys, because I want to have the greatest positive impact on the most amount of people. Right, I am out. I look forward to sharing all this content online and catching up with you on the flip side. All right, remember, life is one big game. Make sure you play it your way and maximize your potential. I'm going to open the window now because it's ridiculously hot. Whoa, boom.